Hey, everybody, Mntdewmania here, and welcome back to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. I'm taking this up right after I finish the other one because I wanted to keep the momentum going. Um, so, the Marston just kind of choked to death on a drink. I mean, standing there talking about his story. Apparently, he killed two people, and he says they just kind of ran out of a cottage right in front of him, and then he took a sip of drink and hit the floor. So I'm going to stay and just talk to everybody while we're all here together.
Did Marston choke to death?
You can call it choking if you like. He died of asphyxiation, right enough.
Was Marston poisoned?
Can't say exactly. Everything points to one of the cyanides. No distinctive smell of prussic acid. Probably potassium cyanide. It acts pretty well instantaneously.
Was there something in the whiskey?
Yes, without a doubt.
Do you think it was suicide?
Seems like it.
What? Nobody stands and drinks cyanide. Well, I guess they do, but
Could he have been murdered?
Not my line of country. I'm a doctor, not a detective.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
Not I. Personally or professionally.
What do you think that record means?
A disgraceful and heartless practical joke, I suppose.
If you'll excuse me, Doctor.
well, Judge, you were standing right here.
Do you think it was suicide?
You conduct yourself well, Mr. Narracott, if you don't mind my saying so. Mr. Blore has told us that you are not what you appear, yet you told him you were not a detective.
No, sir. But I've read many detective novels.
Oh.
I even had one of those junior detective kits when I was a boy. Magnifying glass, fingerprint powder.
Junior detective kit. Wonderful.
Ah, an amateur sleuth, then. You appear to have something of a gift for it.
About the suicide, Judge.
I'm not yet prepared to offer an opinion.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
I knew his father, the Duke, and his elder brother. Like so many younger sons of his class, Anthony Marsden was a bit of a wastrel, as you will have gathered. There were other rumors of late, of his dabbling in politics, but this is not the proper forum for that discussion.
What do you think that record means?
May I answer that in a moment after asking a question of my own?
Okay.
Of course.
Does anyone know Mr. Owen's full name?
My letter was signed only U.N. Owen.
Yes, U.N. Owen. Or, by a slight stretch of fancy, unknown. I'll now answer your question, Mr. Narracott. The name, the recording, the circumstances under which all but you were lured to this island. I have no doubt in my mind that we have been invited here by a madman. Very possibly a dangerous, homicidal lunatic.
Uh-huh. UN... Oh, unknown. Wow. Okay, that is a little bit of a stretch, but yeah, I could see that.
Why did you retire, Judge?
I know there was talk about my competence, even my ego running wild, but the truth of it is very simple. My health. A lifetime sentencing my fellow man, and now a higher power
Uh-oh.
has
What's he
passed
got?
judgment
Cancer?
on me.
Thank you kindly, Judge.
I bet he's got cancer or something. All right, girl, give it up.
Do you think Marston committed suicide?
No.
You'd never think he would kill himself. He was so alive. When he came down that hill in his car, he looked... Oh, I can't explain.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
No, I'm sure I would have remembered.
Oh, you lying, girl.
Steady, Miss Claythorne. Lad had his faults, you know.
What do you think that record means?
It was unfair, what it said. Very unfair.
You mean about you?
You seem to be a remarkably perceptive girl, Miss Claythorne.
Why, thank you, Mr. Narracott.
Oh, please.
Is there anything you can tell me about our fellow castaways?
Castaways. You make it sound so...
Romantic?
I was going to say dramatic. Let me see.
Oh,
No one has
Narracott.
confided any secrets to me, I'm afraid. Oh, except one.
Oh?
That is...
I really don't know you well enough to answer you.
A pleasure as always, Miss Clayton.
Oh my God. You ever, all these people got one more thing to say and ain't nobody saying nothing. Alright.
Do you think Marston committed suicide?
He didn't seem particularly remorseful.
No, he
Of
did.
course, the record might have set him off somehow. A new incident long after the fact may create a strong feeling of guilt or fear. Wouldn't you say, Doctor?
Possible. Quite possible.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
Heard of him, but we'd never crossed paths or swords.
What do you think that record means?
There is something wrong with this entire weekend, and especially with our host, Mr. Owen.
I believe we're all coming around to that conclusion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, but I know something you don't, Judge.
What is that?
I recognized the voice on that recording, and it was definitely not Mr. Owen.
Really?
Who was it?
Not so fast, Narracott. Not until I think things through a bit more.
Good evening, Mr. Lombard.
Okay. Just an observation right here. I would not have said that I knew who that voice was. That's just, that could be dangerous. Just my opinion.
Do you think Marston committed suicide?
I shouldn't have said Mr. Marston was a suicidal type of gentleman at all.
Well, you did.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
Never clapped eyes on him. And who gave you the authority to question us?
Oh, shut up, man.
You're under no obligation to answer me. What do you think that record means?
I don't like it. Not one bit. Very queer, the whole situation.
Yep,
Thanks,
I
Blore.
totally agree. All right, lady.
Do you think Marston committed suicide?
Yes. In my experience, certain types of individuals, when faced with their sin, will then commit the greater one.
Oh, you talking about the girl, right? I ain't
Did you know
buying it.
Marston before he arrived here today?
No.
What do you think that record means?
There is something very peculiar about it.
Thank you, Miss Brent.
Oh, let's go. I don't know. I'm sure somebody would say something if I touched the body.
Do you think it was suicide?
How dare you? My wife died of natural causes, sir. A long illness, nothing more.
I meant Marston.
Marston? No honor in him that I could see.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
No, I don't think so. Not a military man, I'd wager. Lombard now. He reminds me of someone from my command. But the name wasn't Lombard.
Really?
What do you think that record means?
Ugly. After 30 years. Ugly thing to say.
Thank you, General. Stay well.
Where have you been, Rogers?
I went to check on my wife, sir. She is resting comfortably. But I'm afraid I have some distressing news.
Oh, Lord.
Oh?
One of the china figures of a sailor boy has been broken off.
What?
Chapter 2. 9 little sailor boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8.
Filthy night. I tried to go out to get some more wood for the fire, but the wind drove me back.
A storm like that will keep us all indoors.
My apologies for the accommodations, Mr. Narracott, but all the beds are taken.
Makes one wonder where the Owens were planning to sleep, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
A
does.
good servant follows instructions, sir. He does not question his employer, unless you'd like to share the deceased's room with the corpse.
Oh,
This
God.
will do fine. Thank you, Rogers.
I'll wish you a good night then, sir.
Everyone should be sound asleep by now. Good time for a little stealth work.
Yes, isn't it? I want to look. I've been meaning. We'll end this right here, but I want to show you the poem. I don't know if you. There are different variations. There are 10 little Indian boys, 10 little sailor boys, 10 little soldier boys. I've heard 6 or 7, but This is probably just one of those weird, just off the wall poems that it's creepy. 10 little sailor boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. 9 little sailor boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8. 8 little soldier boys traveling in Devon. One said he'd stay there, and then there were 7. 7 little soldier boys chopping up sticks. One chopped himself in halves, and then there were 6. 6 little sailor boys playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. 5 little sailor boys going in for law, but one got in chancery, and then there were 4. 4 little sailor boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3. 3 little sailor boys walking in the zoo. A big bear hugged one, and then there were 2. 2 little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got fizzled up, and then there were 1. 1 little sailor boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself, and then there were none. So I will leave that here for now. I hope you're enjoying this. Yeah, pretty much. This is very, very odd. And I do like the point that the judge brought up, UN Owen unknown. So, and if all the bedrooms are taken, where were the Owens going to stay? Very, very odd. So hope you guys are enjoying this. Leave any comments, thoughts, what you're thinking about, and hope you come back and keep following this. This is a very, very old game, but I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites. And read this again. You know, kind of go to sleep and think on that a little bit. Till next time, guys. This is Mntdewmania. I am so out of here. Later, guys.